Hey guys, welcome back to the Rekt Capital channel. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video about the new Bitcoin monthly candle close and what my thoughts are on that. But we'll also be talking about the new monthly candle close for Ethereum, the new monthly candle close for Litecoin, and we'll also be doing a market update about Link Chain, or at least Chainlink, Link, which is the ticker. We'll be talking about Veracity, Woo, and of course Arweave at the end in more detail. So let's dive right into it. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Like this video if you'd like to see more market updates like this going forward. Let's dive right into it. So the new monthly candle close. Unfortunately, technically, this current monthly candle close has occurred below the 23,400 resistance. So technically we are below this resistance, which could mean that a rejection to as low as the range low of this accumulation range, reaccumulation range, whatever you want to call it, we could see a drop to as low as this level with scope for downside wicking like we've seen in the past, because we've seen upside wicking in this recent rally towards the upside. So fantastic recovery from Bitcoin in general. This is a monthly engulfing candle that has engulfed the past 1, 2, 3, 4 months worth of price action. And if we managed a monthly candle close beyond 23,400, we would have engulfed the past 6 months worth of price action. But 4 months is still a fantastic recovery from Bitcoin. And the fact that we've closed here, well, this recent recovery is as if reclaiming this range, which was recently lost with a breakdown to new lows. So recovering this range, technically this range low needs to be retested as a support before we can challenge for this resistance once again. But let's see how Bitcoin holds over here. If it's going to manage to bull flag here and consolidate just below this resistance and form a sideways channel, that could be a positive step towards perhaps even reclaiming 23,400 as a support. But at the moment, we're seeing a new potential lower high form. This lower high resistance is indeed very early on, but something to bear in mind if indeed we see this sort of structure play out, because if indeed we see rejection from the range high to the range low, then we could see that 20k support be retested once again. And if we see downside wicking below this monthly range, then that would be fantastic, because that downside wicking would see us revisit this higher low. That would be the best sort of buy side opportunity for an investor like me for the long term for Bitcoin, just to see this higher low retested. But it's not a guarantee, and at the moment we don't even know if this structure is valid. We need to see a bit more price action develop on the weekly time frame, and if this structure is indeed to become valid, we have to see rejection and follow through, a little bit like this from Bitcoin, and that's only going to occur in the coming weeks. So unless Bitcoin is flagging here and holding these highs without any follow through, any bearish follow through like we've seen in the past, then there is a chance that that reclaim here as a support could occur. And I'd like to see that on the daily, because typically downside, or at least upside wicking beyond this resistance has occurred before. So a few daily candle closes here would be fantastic, especially a weekly candle close, because upside wicks have happened here before. So a weekly candle close would reverse this trend. But let's talk about Ethereum, because now we know, we have a better idea as to what's going on with Bitcoin. And Ethereum here has broken the past multi-month downtrending resistance, and that's fantastic news, because typically over the past few months we've seen upside wicking, FOMO buying beyond this resistance, only to get rejected, and this time monthly candle close beyond this downtrend. So the downtrend is over, this multi-month downtrend is over. Technically that means a multi-month uptrend for Ethereum could be on the cards. To fully confirm this breakout, however, a dip into the macro downtrend here would be healthy. A retest of this old resistance into a new support. And what's interesting about this macro downtrend is that it's going to be a confluence support with this orange area, which has, of course, been a major support in the past. So dipping to this black downtrend line would be fine. Downside wicking also fine, as long as that monthly close occurs above this black macro downtrend. So that would retest and then potentially provide trend continuation into this resistance, which is the next major resistance. We can see that upside wicking into this resistance towards this resistance is what we've seen over the past several months from Ethereum. So a dip followed by trend continuation towards this resistance, perhaps that's going to be enough to finally break this major resistance for Ethereum. This is Litecoin, and we've spoken about Litecoin yesterday in a bit more detail, but we have fully confirmed not only a breakout from this historical accumulation range, but we've also confirmed a new breakout from this flagging structure. And now Litecoin, in the worst possible case, could print a downside wick like this, and such a wicking could bring Litecoin to the top of this bull flag for a retest attempt on the monthly time frame. That would be healthy, and it would be very bullish to see a successful retest here, because that would enable trend continuation towards this region. But at the moment, confirmed monthly bull flag breakout from Litecoin. It's looking good, given how it's exited this accumulation range, exited the monthly bull flag. So trend continuation is in progress, but some dipping is a possibility. And I know I'm going to be re-entering on this successful retest just to add to this winning position already. So that's Litecoin in a nutshell. What's happening here with Chainlink is that Chainlink has been consolidating inside this region for a while now, and it's been consolidating after a tremendous bear market retrace and downside wicking just to tap into those bargain buying buy orders. But we also got a monthly close below this range just to break down from the range, but not actually confirming the breakout, or at least the breakdown, because we didn't see a rejection from this range low. So now that link has broken back into it, and this is a 19% move that I covered in the Rekt Capital newsletter. So you can check the newsletter out in the link in the description down below if you'd like to sign up, because the price of the newsletter is going up in 5 days. So if you want to lock in $14 a month for a lifetime, feel free to do that and sign up today. But Chainlink right now has effectively invalidated this breakdown. It's broken back into the range, but to fully confirm this range as a new support, we need to see Chainlink dip back into 627 to turn that into support. And then we'd see this blue pathway move repeat once again. Veracity is quite similar, because it's also in a range here, and it's also been covered in the Rekt Capital newsletter, hence these price percentages here, because this was one move and this was the successful retest which we saw on lower time frames that I covered on Twitter. But the similarity in Chainlink is that Chainlink monthly closed inside this range, and to confirm this return, it needs to solidify the range low as a new support, and successful retest there would enable a rally towards the range high. Veracity is very similar, because it also monthly candle closed inside this new range, and to solidify the bottom of this range as a new range low support, we need to see a dip. Successful retest over there, and we'll see a revisit of the range high resistance. Very simple technical principles here. Wootrade over here. This was a falling wedge breakout, fantastic to see, but in my Twitter thread, I shared that we need to see a monthly candle close beyond this macro downtrend resistance, this blue dashed trend line, but upside wicks were a possibility, and we got another upside wick. Unfortunately, FOMO buyers buying into resistance and sellers selling into that FOMO buying strength. So Unfortunately for Wootrade for the time being, we got a similar monthly candle close to what we saw in October and September, which could now mean that a rejection could take place because we've closed below essentially the top of that orange box. So a resistance which could set up for a rejection. But this rejection could be a means to an end in just enabling a retest of this falling wedge breakout. So a post breakout retest could enable further upside insofar to challenge these highs once again, this confluent resistance that is the macro downtrend and this orange boxed region. So a retest could be on the horizon. That's going to be healthy, but retest is needed to challenge this resistance once again. So let's see how that pans out. And this is the last altcoin that I'd like to talk to you about, Arweave. Essentially speaking, this is analysis from the Rekt Capital newsletter, and I just want to give you an idea what sort of analysis we share here. In a nutshell, I spoke about how Arweave needed to reclaim the bottom of this red wedging structure so as to enable a move to the green resistance here. And that was going to be an important development for Arweave, because this is the next analysis, and notice how this is January 13th in the newsletter. We see a 21% rally after a successful retest and reclaim of the bottom of this red wedging structure. So that's textbook technical principles playing out here. But the next thing that I mentioned in the newsletter, apologies, is that a weekly close inside the green resistance area was needed to successfully retest the bottom of this green box as a support to challenge the red diagonal resistance of the wedging structure. And lo and behold, fantastic weekly close inside this green region, successful retest with a downside wick in the bottom of this region. And now Arweave is rallying towards the upside. And in fact, if we see a reclaim of support of the top of this box, then we'll see that final target in the form of the red diagonal. And the red diagonal has a history of upside wicking. So some upside volatility beyond this point could occur, whether that's smaller or larger. Those are going to be outsized targets for me. In fact, that would be probably FOMO, because we don't really know if Arweave would be ready for a breakout. But if it is ready for a breakout, I'd watch out for a weekly candle close above the red diagonal resistance. That would be that confirmation, followed by a retest, of course. That would be that confirmation to see Arweave actually rally towards 1838. So this is the sort of analysis that I share in the Rekt Capital newsletter, and the price of the monthly fee is going up on February 6th. So 5 days away. Feel free to lock in this current $14 a month fee. It's going to be a lifetime fee. Some people got in even earlier at $12, $10, even $5 because I offered early bird discounts. But this is the cheapest that the Rekt Capital newsletter is going to be, $14 a month. It's only going to skyrocket from here simply because we're preparing for a new bull market, and there's immense value being shared in the Rekt Capital newsletter 3 times a week. So just imagine what that can do to your personal investing and personal returns in general. Not even returns from a monetary standpoint, but returns from a self-development standpoint, because you're going to learn the skills to really excel in the market. So I hope I gave you a good idea of what to expect in the newsletter. These altcoin movements are being tracked quite nicely, and I share a altcoin newsletter every Friday, an altcoin market update, and also Bitcoin update every Wednesday, very similar to what we did today here, and a macro update on Bitcoin every Monday. So feel free to check out the newsletter, sign up today before price goes up. In any case, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching today. Like the video if you'd like to see more market reviews like this in the future, talking about Bitcoin, large caps, and also some other promising altcoins. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you enjoyed this one, and I'll speak to you in the next one. I'm Rekt Capital. Speak to you soon.